Yoon has completed his first 2 years in office. This morning, Yoon held his first news conference in 21 months, which comes after the defeat of his People Power Party in the April 10th vote prompted calls for a change in his leadership style and policy direction to salvage a presidency not yet at the halfway point. Yoon said his government's efforts to improve people's lives had fallen short. He also announced the formation of a new government ministry to address the country's record low birth rate and fast-aging society. And for more on this, we have our correspondent Chris Gilbert joining us from there. Well, Chris, Yoon Suk-yeol's People's Power Party tasted defeat in the April 10th vote. What does it tell us about his position he's holding right now?
Well, it's certainly a chance for President Yoon to get some skeletons out of the closet to address the people of South Korea. He doesn't do it very often. The last one was at the end of his first 100 days in office in August 2022. And he's made the most of the opportunity, as you mentioned, to announce the establishment of a new ministry which is responsible for directly responding to the declining birth rate. South Korea, of course, has the lowest birth rate in the world. It's fallen from 2021 from about 0.8 children per couple to about 0.72. That's lower than even Japan's. He has called it a crisis, and the chief of that new ministry is going to be also the deputy social affairs or the deputy social welfare minister. So they're going to be responsible for labor and education, really across the board, trying to tackle this depopulation crisis. It's also been an opportunity for him to address not just some policy but some scandals, mainly affecting his wife, the First Lady, and a couple of issues there. The first, her allegedly accepting a luxury Dior handbag from a Korean-American pastor in 2022. Yoon Suk-yeol has called this unwise conduct and has apologized for it. There's another issue involving the First Lady surrounding an investigation into her allegedly manipulating stocks of the Deutsche Motors company, that's the BMW dealership in South Korea, between 2009 and 2012. On that issue, the president has been addressing reporters following his speech, and he said there's an investigation ongoing, and if that becomes insufficient or does not deliver the results that are satisfactory, then the government may look into it themselves. So as I say, it's been a long time between drinks for the president, addressing the people of South Korea, and a timely opportunity for him following that election defeat to get some issues out in the open.
Also, Chris, the president, as you told us, he held the first news conference in 21 months after taking office. What about the timing? Why he took so long to have that conference?
Yeah, well, it's a great question. And as you mentioned, the PPP, the ruling party, did suffer an enormous defeat to the opposition, their second one in a row for the parliamentary elections. Just last month, 6 days after that defeat, Yoon Suk-yeol said that, he needs to reevaluate the will of the people and how his company, how his party is responding to that. Officials close to him have been saying that he wants to communicate more to the public through the media. There are significant issues on the table, such as the ongoing doctors' resignations and walk-offs in response to the government wanting to increase medical school seats and opportunities for new doctors to be trained. And look, Yoon Suk-yeol is effectively, as experts are saying, a lame duck with no control over parliament for the rest of his time as president, the rest of his term. And so it is very important, experts are saying, for him to make these kinds of press conferences to remind people of the priorities of the government personally, but also he only became president by a very narrow margin in 2022. Right. So experts are also saying it's very important for him to remind the people who voted for him why they did so in the first place.
Right. Thank you so much, Chris, for that information and update from there. And moving on, Panama's president-elect